Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Job IQ. As you know, Job IQ helps to get a job and accelerate your career. And I cannot have enough time with our HR consultants. We have been diving into the details of how to get job in some specific sectors. And she always entertains with something munchy. All right, I'm with Adeteniola today to discuss getting a job in the banking sector. Hi, Tenny.
Good day, sir. Thank you for having me. It's
It's
been
my
such
pleasure.
amazing conversations.
Indeed, amazing conversation. It seems to me that the banking sector is one of the largest employer of labor in the private sector in Nigeria.
Yes, it is arguably so. Yes, definitely. I can just picture the staff bosses. I just pictured my route to work and the amount of banks and the staff bosses that,
Hmm.
plow different routes. So, yes, it is arguably one of the largest
Yes,
sector.
I think the structure, the nature of the business, each bank, a single bank would have branches all over the federation,
Exactly.
and then we have so many of them, so the effect is very huge.
Yes, yes, it
Yes,
is.
and
It
then we
is.
have the commercial banks, we have the other types of banks like investment banks, microfinance banks, now the
Yes.
fintech and the loan
Yeah,
companies today.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, wow.
Managing money is very important in any economy. So definitely that sector would be, fully prepared for people to
Okay.
join.
Very great, very great. So, getting a job in this sector, do you have to study banking and finance or study accounting, or what do you have to study before you can qualify?
We can say with the population of the employees in the banking sector that we can tell that most people didn't study banking and finance. So
Hmm.
definitely it's not a criteria, a rigid criteria, but you can be trained and effective in that sector depending on whatever you study, will be able to get you there.
So, when we say banking, is it, you've mentioned money, is it all about money, or we have other departments within this company, type of
Okay.
company?
There are different departments in this company. There are banking operations, there are human resources, there's tech, that powers,
Yes.
how the money moves.
Yeah,
Um,
we have, the
the
foreign
tech, the foreign
currency.
currency, and different departments definitely in the
Wow.
bank.
Yeah, that justifies the reason why, regardless of whether you studied accounting or
Exactly.
banking and finance,
Different
you can
departments.
still, you can still find something within the banking sector.
Yes.
How often uh, does the banking sector recruit people?
The banking sector recruits quite often because of now, especially the changing landscape. Japa is in the mix, and different things are in the mix. At least in recent times, I know that they're reshaping, remodeling, and also having more people join the team,
Hmm.
especially the younger
Maybe the
generations.
digital transformation going on
Exactly,
now.
exactly. So they have more people joining this team. So also take advantage of the growing tech economy. So yes, the bank they recruit, but the roles might be different. The kind of roles that they might be frequenting
Mm-hmm.
might be different. What roles they are currently in need of. So you have to actually find out where it is at. For you to build a sustainable career, you have to make sure that the role that you're vying for in the bank also is one that can last you a lifetime.
Okay. So I assume that like every other industry, we would have, jobs for experienced people as well as fresh graduates. I think
Yes.
we can talk about it too, but I would like us to talk about to start with the fresh graduates. How can a young person get a job in the banking sector? I like to also talk about the age, limits and stuff like that.
One of the important features of the banking sector is the catch them young policy,
Hmm.
where there is intentional efforts to get younger people, and then because of how much young people they need in the system, or immediately as they come out from university, because they're easy to train and easy to, the
Mm.
what that does is that there is it's a more structured process, though rigorous, but more structured process than the experience level. It's step by step. They've perfected the art of, from applying to other, down to the point of the offer. So yes, definitely the entry level is more popular, also because the graduate training program, and they ensure that they train you and you pass before you can get into the system fully.
Do you,
So
do you want to take us through the stages, you know?
okay. The first stage is you apply. You could see you could see the vacancies anywhere because it's bank. Most of the time, the risk of is it a fake job posting is not
Yes.
really there, because you can find the information on any job site. You can go to their website and find the information, and there's no like standard recruitment period. Recruitment is always ongoing. Something is always
Yeah, but
happening.
there are times when they write, like this GMAT. I want to believe that there might be a time when they want to recruit a large number of
So
people.
yes, that would be when people are graduating or finishing NYSC or just starting NYSC, because that's the entry level batch. But
Yes.
when it comes to experience level, you would
Okay.
see it, time and time. They might poach you and things like that. When I say poach, I mean that they might be reaching out to you either through LinkedIn or your email to say, "Oh, come join us and take some of the tests to, become a an employee in the bank." So the first level is you apply. Anywhere you can find applications online, you can apply, and then they send you an invitation for a test,
Mm-hmm.
and they send you a test. Most of the banks use SHL testing. SHL, the full acronym can be quite a mouthful, so let's just keep it as
Yeah.
as SHL test. And there's also like behavioral tests. So when you pass that level, then you have interviews,
Mm.
right? You have an interview with the departmental head of where you will be, working, where you are, where you are seen as the right fit for. So sometimes what happens with entry level is you might actually choose a particular um,
Department or
department
units
or
and
unit, but they see that you fit better somewhere else, and they ask you, "Do you
mm.
want to go on with this process,
Mm-hmm.
and go to this department?" So you have interviews where you're tested behaviorally, you're tested, especially the knowledge of the economy, because banks don't work in isolation. The global economy, what is
Yes.
happening in the country, everything affects the movement of money. It affects the movement of funds. So you'll be tested on your awareness of the economy, the global and the local economy. And then when you pass that stage, you move to the graduate training program. So it's
Mm.
not automatic that, oh, you now have a place in the company. So you have the training program to take you through their structural processes, their policies, so that you learn of that and you also apply these skills. Once you then pass, there'll be an examination you pass, then you can now move on to getting a job offer. But one thing to note is that the interview process for this banking sector job is quite, you will talk to almost every cadre
Within the
within the
organization.
organization,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a most of the time it's a long-term career. So it's
Yes.
important for them to, weigh that you're a good fit and they also fit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's structured processes. So most of the time you need to get acquainted with that. And after that, you can now get the offer. Of course, just like many other standard firms, you do the medical checkups and make sure that you're fit to work,
Mm.
and then you can, get into the system.
Okay, fantastic. You talked about aptitude test.
Yes.
What does that look like?
The job aptitude test is basically to know your decision making skills, how you react or how you would respond to some situations. So they're given, some are gamified in a way that is, stage by stage, level by level. You can ask, you can pick your answers and also that. So yes, it's more of behavioral, and how much you understand how to apply basic mathematics, basic quantitative skills. So yes,
Yes.
yes,
I mean, life is quantitative, I would
yes, it
say.
is. Yes, it is. And when you're saying banking, you should know that, yeah, there will be a level of
Indeed.
that.
Indeed. But, well, you have told us about different departments. I think the bankers that we get to meet, the the cashiers or the
Frontline.
branch managers, those are the front
Yes.
desks and all that. Okay, so it's interesting to know that we have other departments that where one can actually work. So within the banking sector, how do you develop yourself? How do
Mm.
you make career progression within the banking
Mm.
sector?
That's a very good question because it's a question that people always, think about, and actually, some people it discourages some people
Mm.
from actually entering the system. But a basic act for any sector that you're in is you have to think like your employer. You have
Hmm.
to think like
Think like your employer.
yes, you have to think like your employer. You have to think profit, think big, think beyond your task
Hmm.
because it stands you out in the kind of suggestions you bring, kind of implementations of tasks. It stands you out on how you can relate with different departments. So that would, if you bring up a suggestion that shows that you're thinking ahead, it stands you out as
Hmm.
someone that has a broader view and can move along, and that will bring me to the second point where internal visibility. Visibility is not a choice in many sectors, especially the banking sector. When there are so many employees in a branch and believing that there are like 300 employees, and you're wondering that how do I stand out?
Mm-hmm.
Is internal visibility necessary? It is.
It is.
It is because you have to understand what every department is doing and how your work feeds into another department because
Yes.
it doesn't end that this is my task and then I've delivered it. How does it fit into the goal of the organization?
I think there are times when there is a need. There is a need, and they are looking for someone to help.
Yes,
Making yourself available, volunteering to
exactly.
to come in, solve the problem. These are some of the things that help you get noticed.
Yes,
Within a large team of people.
yes, exactly. And somehow it just came to mind some other extracurricular functions that banks are doing these days. Echo Bank does maybe like African fairs, GT Bank does like fashion, GT Fashion Week, GT World, different, things that you can also show in that environment is less rigid. Like you might not have like a specific task and you're less, you can when you volunteer and you see that you have a particular skill set that can fit into the organization too,
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, so you have some additional skills, some extra skills, for example, anchoring events, coordinating,
Exactly.
planning programs.
Exactly. For example, I want to give an example of a lady on Instagram. And when I read her story, I was very impressed.
Hmm.
Mojibade Sonya. She's called Mojibade Sho. She's an MC, one of the biggest compares now in Lagos. She has compared different stages. She was an employee at Access Bank.
Hmm.
So the late Albert Wigwe of blessed memory was one of the persons that spotted her talent. So she was in companies, events, hangouts, retreats, strategic sessions. She was like, "Oh, I can do it. I can organize. I can speak." She will introduce facilitators so well, and then he became a mentor. And then she told him that she wants to leave banking to go and do compare. And he
Hmm.
was like, "Yeah, totally, I will support you. Just go." And
That's
when I
it.
read the story, when she put it up, I was like, wow, see how she leveraged her skill,
Mm-hmm,
and she might
mm-hmm.
never have thought that she was going to leave banking that early, but because of how much, how good she was recognized, and she was like, yes, you keep working for the bank in this capacity, and that's
Yeah, I think what you have shown now is that whatever you are doing today, do it very well.
yes,
There's a price you are paying. The job you are doing today may be the stepping stone to
exactly,
launch you,
exactly,
into your actual purpose or destiny.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
and you get notice, and that notice could mean someone giving you a hand, to
Mm,
get to the next level. You also
yes,
mentioned thinking like the owner of the
yes,
business.
yes,
This, I think, is very important.
yes.
There are those who join an organization and all they think about is themselves, their pockets, their bills, and everything. You have no thought about the owner of the business, like what they
Yes,
are going through, what they want to achieve.
yes,
So the way you deal, your attitude is
Yes.
always different. It shows.
Yes.
You are not thinking of how to help the company win.
Exactly.
You know, when your company win, you win together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
this is something that people have to learn, whether you are Gen Z or you are from the
Yes.
generation
I
before.
also like to add that another visibility point is once you're aware of the global economy and what is going on or anything that could potentially affect your sector, do you wait for management or your head of department to bring that up in a meeting? Do you wait for them to, so you can go up to them and say, how are we tackling this? How is the bank looking forward to making these changes or adjusting to what is going on? And that helps. And that's why it's good to build skills that last. I wanted to even add that I think during COVID, many bankers, because you're not going to the office,
Yeah.
if your impact was not felt when you were out of the office, I doubt that there will be opportunities for much collaboration with the management team and all that. So at the end of the day, visibility always works. The right visibility works.
Yeah, visibility. And the visibility does not have to be about company politics. Some
Yes.
people want to manipulate themselves to the top.
Yeah.
You can only go, this far.
Yeah.
You will be discovered and you cannot stand the test of time.
Yes.
This is something very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tenny. I want you to just summarize in 5 points how a young graduate or someone in NYC, someone who is trying to start their career, how they can get a job in the banking sector from application to the landing the job.
Okay. The first thing to do is to research the industry so that you can use
Research.
the industry terminology. The person looking at your CV already has the way he thinks. The person thinks in banking terminologies. So you have to use that. You have to craft your CV in a way that it shows that you understand the language used. When you use things, words like portfolio, corporate account, you have to make sure that you're using the lingo of that industry.
Indeed.
Another thing is to go to job fairs or go to any of the recruitment exercises that these banks open up to people, get acquainted with the bank, know the board of directors, the MDs, have a conversation.
Isn't
Just
that
know
easy?
you have to know, not like know about them.
Okay.
Yes, read
Okay.
about them.
Yeah.
There are many people that show up to interviews and then you're asking, okay, who is the MD, who is this, and they're like, oh, they don't know. You've not shown interest.
Interest.
Yes, so there has to be interest. So it's not just about job searching. Another thing is to create maybe an Excel sheet or something that helps you to identify what each bank, maybe a strong point you have to score for each bank, and put it in your CV to make sure that it's streamlined to that industry. Another thing is to practice. Preparation for interviews is key. You cannot, I believe that many people, the difference that it makes in interviews are how prepared they are. Sometimes we overlook it. It's not a conversation. This is not what I've done before. I've done it. I can. But you get there.
I mean, a young graduate has probably not even done much.
Exactly. So you have to, go there. And there are some, training schools where they train on basic communication skills. It also helps presentations. What if you are called up to just do a presentation? So I would say prepare a CV that is streamlined for that. I would say prepare for interviews, communicate, get to know more about the industry, attend, where they're attend their
Their
fairs,
job fairs and all that.
yes, speak to people in that industry, be active on LinkedIn, have a voice, because that's what this is an industry that is very, very there are so many people in the industry, so it's something that you have to do to stand out yourself, and also have a plan, a career plan, or just a sense of um next steps, so that when they're asking you questions, everybody, every employer is thinking, is this just something to get by? Are you just, so you have to get to know, oh, what am I looking forward to from this life? Sometimes some people are always like, is that not too soon to ask? I don't know.
Yeah, I've had that before.
Yes, I don't know, but at least you can have an idea of the next 5 years if you don't have the full picture. You can have an idea of the next 5 years and the kind of value you're going to bring on. So definitely all these are important. But let me quickly add, you don't have to wait to job for job openings to send your
Mhm.
CVs out or to ask. There's something called cold emailing. That's mean it was not asked for. You decided to just send your emails, and some people have gotten jobs from just interesting, catchy headlines that they send to their employer. Like it's a formal headline, but it's reels in their interest because they're getting thousands
Of
of
CVs.
CVs and applications. So you have to stand out, and have you can send your email. Don't wait for any. You have a dream job, you have a dream place of work. Don't wait till when they are employing. You have to
Amazing.
go. Yeah.
Fantastic. So when you land the job, how do you get promoted? How do you move up the ladder?
Amazing. One thing is you could ask for the career chart or career plan. Many people don't ask for it.
Hmm.
you know you are in this level. What does it take? What are the things I should have done? What are the achievements you should have had before you move on? Even if they never communicated to you, you ask.
Hmm.
Yes, there are key performance indicators. That's to help you with your role, but there are some promotional um achievements that you must have, because for you to go to the next role, it means that you are demonstrating the competencies for that role now.
Before you get promoted, you
You are
must already be able to
demonstrating.
demonstrate the
Exactly.
competencies for that role.
Exactly. So let's say you come in as an operation assistant. You ask for the chart. You see that the next cadre is operation admin. Maybe you go to operation head, operation. You can see the career trajectory, and you're
Hmm.
not looking at just what you're supposed to do. You're looking at what you're supposed to do and what the next level entails, so that you
Hmm.
can start interacting with the kind of achievements that you're supposed
Achievements
to go for in the next level. So you will demonstrate that next level competency before you are.
and readiness.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. So that's one way to definitely. And feedback, ask for feedback.
Hmm.
You don't need to have a formal measurement session or management session. You just say, I've done this work, let me ask for feedback, and get the feedback and work on it. And then it shows that there's an attitude for excellence and
An
striving.
attitude for excellence.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
amazing, amazing. I think before we wrap up this episode, I would like to just know how does it work for experienced people who would like to, get a job in the banking sector.
Oh, that's amazing. I believe the first thing is, like I said before, the lingo. You may be coming from a different place,
Yeah.
a different sector. You need to sound like you understand the
Hmm.
English. So you are doing the same things. You may be getting the same things done, but you need to start sounding like the unit you're going to, and also just learn more about what unit are you going to. Are you going to the loan section? Are you going into the investment banking
Banking.
section? Are you going to the so you as an experienced hire, you've had some experience, so you can quite figure out where you are headed. So that helps. And then you can message somebody in that role or the lead in that role on LinkedIn. Say, push, sell yourself. I'm currently working here. I'm looking to pivot into this sector because I believe that is the next step. I believe it's where my contributions will be valued. And the person will be like, oh, okay, these are the things you should do.
Hmm.
And you can apply. But I realize that most times with experience hires, your people are poached.
Yeah.
Yes, I realize that with banking sector especially, people are poached, and once you're reached out to in that manner, you might have a test, depending on the bank, but you definitely have interviews with different cadres of people, even up to top management, because now you're coming in as someone that already understands their career path and has a way to go. So yes, definitely you must align your CV to that role. You must connect with people in that role or similar roles,
Hmm.
and then know what is obtainable during your interviews. And when you're being interviewed, you need to be assertive. when they ask you, "Well, do you have any questions for the company?" It's not the time to say, "I don't have any question," because you don't want to say something that will put them off. That's the time to actually direct the conversation in a way that favors you.
Hmm.
So you asked about something they've been working on. I read about this article that is this, and I see that you have a strong newsletter community. I follow your newsletter, and you spoke about this. Can you just shed more light on this? You can ask the
Hmm.
person in this role before, what was their key strengths and what were the key weaknesses of the person that
Hmm.
that
Like what they did well and
what
what they did not do well.
exactly what are the, they did well. What do you think is new that this department needs?
Hmm.
From there you can get a sense of why you should be the person that moves on to the next stage of the interview and all that. So yes.
Yeah, fantastic. I think to add to that, I would say that you even though even when you are poached, you will also want to demonstrate some interest in
Definitely.
that company. So you should get familiar with their products. The banking sector also has products,
Yes.
different products you should. So when you are talking to them, you show that you have been following
Mm,
them or researching into their company. It creates a very good first impression.
exactly. You could use one of their products, test it out within some weeks, and say, I noticed that you rolled out this new feature on this product. What is the aim of this feature?
Hmm.
This is what I think can be an addition to it. So yes, definitely products is
Fantastic.
yes.
Fantastic. So, Teniola, thank you so much again.
Thank you
We
for
can
having me.
never exhaust your wealth of knowledge in the HR sector. We find some time to still engage with you, especially in the area of LinkedIn that you mentioned.
Yes,
So,
yes,
thank you
yes,
again.
yes,
Viewers out there, I'm sure you have learned something interesting from this episode. We have been enjoying our HR experts, telling us how to get a job in the banking sector. If you are in the category of those looking for a job or you want some promotion at your place of work, may your wishes come true. Till
yes.
we meet again, my name is Dr. Shina Aladejubelo. Bye.